Let's do it. Welcome to JFA Food and Travel
With Raymond.
and Miss Cindy.
We're here today to talk to you about a few of our cruising tips. The first thing we do when booking it is we look at the deals we have, whether it's through emails or mailers. We check for the best deal.
We do have planners with Carnival and with uh, Norwegian. So Cindy stays in touch with our planners, or they stay in touch with Cindy. However that works, it does work for us.
And our casino hosts like to send us stuff too.
Well, not our casino host, but Cindy's casino host. But Wanda with Carnival, and I don't know who our
Patricia.
Patricia.
Patricia Alvarez.
So Wanda Falcon and Patricia Alvarez. So if y'all are out and about and need a planner, please let them know that we sent y'all.
That's right. Carnival is Wanda Falcon and Norwegian is Patricia Alvarez. And they're willing to help you with any and all of it, whether it's just booking your room, booking your flights, any of it, they do it all.
Trying to find the best deal for you. So I would stay in touch with them if I was y'all planning your trips. Now, as far as booking and stuff, Miss Cindy does all the booking. I kind of don't get in the way.
I do check to see if he wants to go there in the first place. And yeah, I usually get
After the fact.
I don't care.
It's after the fact. It's yes, I got us a trip booked in September for you, and I'll be like, thank you for my birthday.
Where are we going?
Where are we going? Oh, here we go. But yes, so we do work as a team on most of this. But yes, the booking part, Miss Cindy usually handles. So.
And the picking the room he handles. He has his preferences.
Yes, I do prefer the medium from the middle of the ship to the aft. I don't want to be in the bow, and I don't want to be around anything that's making a lot of noises. No kids centers, no disco above me or below me. No, yes, I do not. No high traffic areas. As far as the rooms and stuff, as long as it's out of the way, I'm quite happy with.
He's happy whether it's interior room, balcony room, suite. We absolutely enjoyed the suite, but we did have a little bit of input on that. Where we were in Iceland, the days are long and the curtains aren't.
Yes, so we did run into a problem with it being daylight, like 23 hours of the day, and it says it was dark sometime, but I've never seen it. That must have been the good time when I was sleeping.
That little bit of sleep we did,
It must have been that. But the room and the view was well worth the non-sleeping a little bit.
Yes.
So, because the view was it was hard to replace.
That's right. We did, and when I say the curtains weren't long, they absolutely were long enough to block the whole window. We just learned to put things against it to hold them to the window, which blocked out the light that came through the little crevices and cracks. So that's just a little hint when you are thinking about that. The interior rooms get as dark as pitch black, and they are wonderful for sleeping. So we're not stuck on just having a balcony because we don't spend a lot of time in the room normally.
No.
So
if one of us does, it's me. And so for me, I'm good either way. The way the rooms are usually set up on the interior are usually just fine for me to do any kind of editing or any kind of stuff that I'm doing. So I'm pretty easy going either way.
Right. And then after we book our rooms, we make sure to pick our bedding setup. You can leave it in two twins, or as we do, put it in a king-size bed. That way they're not having to do anything once we get there. It's already made into a king-size bed. And we also go in and we check in. If it's Carnival, we check in for our dining time, and we prefer the earlier. With Norwegian, it's your time dining, so you just go check in at the dining room when you're ready to eat. So just be sure to do that. And then we mark the check-in date on our calendar, because as soon as it opens, we log in and we actually check in. And by doing that, you get to pick your time that you're going to arrive at the port. And we try to pick as early as we can, get on the ship. But we're not going to pay the extra to get faster to the fun or any of that. We're going to go at the earliest we can go.
Yeah, and we don't have enough stuff built up to get a whole lot free, so we don't get a whole lot of amenities with this. But we do like to be there and be on time because then we're not in a rush. This is a vacations for us, so we do like to be nice and easy and smooth. And with check-in with Carnival, it is really fast and it's very effortless. Yeah, it's just smooth and easy. Like, here you go over here. Just keep right on moving. Please come on.
We went to Port Canaveral and thought it was the easiest ever until we went to Dover, and it was just quick, 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 quick. Now, we did run into, in the UK, you need an entry pass. A lot of countries you do. You may need a visa or entry pass, or they'll call it different things. You need your passport for one. But those visas and entry passes, they're attached to your passport electronically. But these cruise lines don't have any way of scanning like immigration and customs do. So you need to take a paper copy of that with you. Even though you may have it on your email, who's to say you can access that email? So be sure to take a paper copy of that. I always take a copy of our booking paperwork. I never rely on the electronic. Everybody does. I'm just not one that does.
Now, I think that you should have your passport with you at all times because you never know when an emergency might happen and you need to get home, or you do get left and you do need to move around through another country. So my recommendation is always to have your passport with you whenever you leave the ship, or even just going to Mexico. We still bring our passports.
We absolutely
because you
do.
never know what's going to happen and you can't fly home without it.
No, it makes it much easier. And then after that, it's book your excursions. If you're going to take an excursion, book it early. They do fill up now. And if you book through the cruise line, they're going to take care of you from the time you leave the ship to the time you get back.
And now, I prefer to go through the cruise line. Miss Cindy hunts for the best deals. Me, I prefer the cruise line in case something happens and you end up late. The cruise ship will wait, or they will get you to where the next port is, and it will take care of it the rest of the way. So you're not stranded anywhere. But if you book through Viacom or
Viator or Get Your Guide or any of those others, you are at risk, and you have to know that going in. A lot of the tours are gone from the minute you arrive in port to right before it's time to get back on. Those I worry about a bit. If we've got 4 hours once we get back from our tour before the ship leaves or before on board time, I'm okay with that, because I'm pretty sure in 4 hours they can get me from my 2 hour mark that I was away from them, and so I'm a little less skeptical about those, but I do look for the good deals. But in saying that, when we were in Rome due to traffic, we did miss our tour, and I did not get our money back. So that's one of the things. They can choose not to give you your money back if you cancel within that 24-hour period, and you not arriving is considered a cancellation. Now, they are kind enough, this was Viator, was kind enough to give us a future credit. But getting my money back was a totally different thing. So just keep that in mind.
Well, future credit's fine with us, but because it's not like we're going to stop cruising or stop traveling.
Traveling, yes.
So, and we're going back to Rome anyways because we didn't really get to do anything in Rome. And that's the other thing is you have to look at is how far away are these places.
Ports from
if you're traveling an hour and a half away and an hour and a half back, you have to figure that stuff in on your time. Is it worth going that far? Some things are worth to go see. You have plenty of time to get there. Our Iceland tours were just awesome that way.
Oh, wonderful.
It was always a haul, though, to get there. Now, did we see 1,000 waterfalls along the way? Like every half a mile.
And we loved everyone. And everyone was bigger and more
And we
spectacular.
were there during the springtime, so it was lamb season, and there was little lambs everywhere. So the whole bus, all you heard the whole time was
Oh my!
ooh and
Oh,
and ooh.
oh, look at the
And
babies!
I
Yeah,
was looking at lamb chops. So I was like, man, those
it's
things look
true.
tasty. I mean,
Food and travel, yes, we are. Then the other thing is join the Facebook groups. There's always a
definitely,
Facebook group
definitely.
for your week's cruise. And my suggestion is what I saw in our group was some people that were coming the month following us or a couple weeks following us were getting in on our group so they could see what excursions people were taking, what they recommended, what they didn't recommend. And that is a really good idea. And I'm going to use that one in the future because I've not done that before. So,
Even the part about Dover coming in on the train from the airport, they took the train in, and there wasn't enough taxis or enough Ubers around to get from the train station to the Dover port, and that turned out to be a big problem for some people.
right. And they didn't ever see, and so you've got to read everybody's comments in there. Other people had previously said that they were taking the train, but be sure to book your taxi or Uber from the train station to the port so that you had one. Other people had recommended it, and they must have missed that. And it was a couple mile walk, and some of those people we saw walking probably shouldn't have been walking 100 yards, much less a couple miles. So,
This is vacation. This is not something that you want to be not planning. Is traveling, even though in the United States you can always call an Uber.
and they are available in other countries, but
It's
they're
not.
not plentiful.
It's not as plentiful.
Right.
It's not as easy.
It
But
was 2 hours from the airport
to
to the
Dover,
port in
yes.
Dover. So that's a large transportation bill. If you need transportation, always remember you can book the bus transportation through the cruises. Both of them offer them from the airports
But
to
that's
the
where your cruise
ports.
planner will help
Yes,
on well any questions that you would have. How do I get from the airport to the port? They will help you with every step that you need to take. So we do recommend cruise planners.
right. And if you are going to do it yourself, just try to factor in those things. We always arrive a day or two ahead of time, and there's two reasons.
Raymond does not like unstructured time. Raymond needs to be structured all the time. Something in it, but
And on time.
and on time. We we do arrive 2 days early because if we're traveling across seas overseas, then we want to make sure that we're not tired and give out and trying to make it and trying to be in a hurry. We want to know where everything's at. I like to look ahead and plan ahead to make sure because I do like structure.
And our second point on that is we are older and jet lag is a real thing. I've suffered it in the States before, just going to Vegas. So, jet lag's a real thing. And as we're older, sometimes we need that recoup time just to get ready for a vacation.
Well, and plus there's usually something in the town. If you go to Miami, you can always find something to do in Miami, Port Canaveral. You're at Disney World. You got
There's
something that you can do, and to make sure that you're on time for your cruise and you're not in a hurry because the plane was late, got delayed on account of thunderstorms. We sat on the runway for 3 hours out of Dallas.
Yeah, yep, Dulles. We were trapped in the plane for 3 hours, and had we been going straight from the plane to the port, it's a good possibility we wouldn't have made it for check-in. So these things happen, especially with the port being 2 hours away from the airport. So
Exactly.
yeah, there's those are things, and we do. We always recommend going in early. We do it. You don't have to, but we always will. At least a day early. At least a day.
Yes, we're sticklers about things. I'm not picky about certain things, but that is one of my things I do enjoy about. We're on vacation. There's no need in being upset or in a hurry and rushing because then you've already started your vacation
Upset.
upset and
That's it.
mad.
That's it.
And
So,
I'll get mad quick.
but if anybody knows Raymond, he loves to be on time. He's early for everything. And if anybody knows me, I'm late for everything, or I'm pushing the boundary of it. So he struggles with this with me all the time, and it's a bad habit, and it's something we make sure we go in the day early so we don't have these
The
problems.
clock doesn't seem to work right in girl world. It just does not.
It doesn't.
And now, once we checked in, and first thing we like to do is once we hit the ship is go straight to mustard. We want to go straight to mustard. We want to get this over and out of the way. And if our room's ready, we'll go ahead and go find our room. And if it's ready, we'll drop off our backpacks and stuff, whatever we're toting, we'll drop it off. But if
Yep.
not, we cruise up to the Lido deck up there and check and see what's going on, have a drink. Well, one of us has a drink. The other one is a non-drinker.
Get some coconut water.
There you go.
That was
And-
my favorite this last
And we'll
cruise.
look around. And if maybe stop by Guy's Burger or stop by the dining room. I'm not big on the buffet stuff, but I do find plenty of things to eat that is maybe not on a buffet.
Right. Yeah, he can piece together a meal with the
Yes.
buffet if he needs to,
Yes.
and we're good with that. So we'll grab lunch or brunch if it's early. It just depends, and if we've eaten or not. So
But yeah, we try to do our best to make it as easy and as less effort as possible. And try to beat the crowds.
that's the other part. That's the other part. You've got to keep in mind that everybody else is getting there. Everybody else is going to lunch. And usually that's why we do muster first, because we get it out of the way, and we don't want to be one of those that they're calling their name and calling their name and calling their name, trying to get them to check in, because we can't leave port till everybody checks in.
Yeah, that's not the good stuff there, is it?
No,
That's not fun.
you don't want to start off on the wrong
No,
foot.
well, you don't want to start off your trip in a bind. No.
And then we take a walk.
Yes, we want to get familiar with the ships. Even though we're on the same ships, usually the same. We haven't done any of the mega ships.
No.
None of the mega ships, and we only sailed so far through Carnival and through Norwegian, and we're pretty much familiar with the ships that we travel on.
Mm-hmm.
We don't have to get off on every port.
True.
I find that being on ship to me and everybody else is off ship is really a luxury to me. It's one of my better things. I don't have people bumping into me, and it's not crowded. I don't have a lot of noise. It's pretty easy going. Cindy's gonna start doing a spa while we're staying and just camping out on the ship and relaxing.
Mm-hmm.
It is a vacation.
Yep. We're going to start utilizing it as the most relaxing thing we can do.
She'll be trying to get me to go, and that just ain't working. I ain't being touched by strangers.
I've tried. I've asked him because, they have all these deals, especially when you are in port for couples massages and all this, and he has no interest whatsoever.
Yeah, I'm not wanting to be touched by strangers, period. So we not fondling Raymond.
So I'll be finding my way to the spa on our next cruise all by myself.
But then we have our things that we dislike about cruising. I think my biggest thing that I dislike about cruising is people hogging up the dining tables, playing their games when it's dining time. I understand having your family up and it's 10 o'clock and we're up there playing a game. We're looking out the window, enjoying the scenery and stuff. It's 10 o'clock. But at 11:30, I'm not quite grasping why you're still playing a game or got your board still all out. And it doesn't seem to be fair to the other people that are on the cruise.
This last cruise ship we were on, Carnival Miracle, and they tend to have I would say a good 80% of their tables are the larger tables that could sit 6 to 8 people. I don't think they had any 2 tops anywhere. There were 4 tops along the edge of the window area. And, we did run into that. It was hard to find a table. I think people can be very inconsiderate and like he said, playing the games during what would be lunch or dinner time. They don't care, or just sitting there having a cup of coffee, looking out the window, enjoying the scenery. There were many, many other places to do that in the ship, but there are always inconsiderate people. And Raymond pointed out to me, and we did not do this, but your staff there are your first line of complaint and support
and
defense. They get a lot of complaints, but they will take care of things. You've just got to give them an opportunity to do it
and let them know. But see, but then also my opinion on that is that they're catching enough flack about going over and asking them, hey, you need to roll this up and put this up so other people. And we don't have no problem with people sitting with us or us asking them, do y'all mind if us sit with y'all? Because family style is more of what we are accustomed to.
right.
We love to break bread with other people. It's just
People don't seem inviting. We always ask people. We see people walking around and looking. We'll say, "You want to join us?" And oh, they're always so thankful. But we don't find a lot of people to be like us. So just keep that in mind when you are on some of these ships. You might want to reach out and invite somebody to sit with you because they see this big table and they think you've probably got 4 or 5 other people coming to join you. They're just still in line. So
and we try not to use those big tables. There were some booths and stuff that you could sit at, and we did have one little spot that we sat at, and they
in the evening,
yes,
we could get it in the evening, but never at lunchtime.
and
So.
we try not to go during peak hours neither, because if we're going up to eat, and it's buffet, then we definitely not going up in peak hours. No, we don't want to. We don't want to be caught up in all that.
No, we tend to eat from the well, you ate mainly from the seafood shed.
Yes, I mean I don't. Now I do have problem with food. I do not like to eat off buffets. To me, it's kind of takes away from your experiences. And they do have a lot of different things that you could get. They had Guy's Burgers. They had the
Blue iguana.
And that had wings and burritos, tacos. But now my favorite was they had a seafood shop, a little seafood shack, and they made and if you wanted things spicy, they would make things spicy because that's the way I like to eat them. And
Everything was made to order and made right then, and he really preferred that. He paid a little for it, but it wasn't that expensive, and we really enjoyed it. And we enjoyed specialty dining at Nick and Nora's. And so if we weren't eating at Nick and Nora's for dinner, generally we were at the seafood shack. So.
well, and plus the pizza place. I mean,
Oh yeah,
and sandwich
Pirate's
shop.
Pizzas. Yes.
Don't forget the sandwich girls. I mean, there
Yeah.
was plenty of things. If you're not big on wanting to eat buffet like I am, then there was plenty of other specialty shops that you could find
Yes.
things to eat. And then if you're not happy with the coffee and stuff, they do have a Starbucks and stuff in which
Well,
you
coffee
utilize.
shop, yeah.
Yeah, coffee shop.
Like Starbucks.
They make. Oh, okay.
yeah.
What Starbucks?
It wasn't.
Oh,
It wasn't.
well.
Norwegian actually has Starbucks, but this was Carnival. They don't have Starbucks, but specialty coffee, and they make it fresh, and it's more like Starbucks, more like people would enjoy rather than the coffee on the buffet.
Yes.
We enjoyed coffee to the room though by room service, and it's good coffee as well and hot tea.
And I don't think that costs you at any, no matter what level you are, does it?
Yes,
Does
there's a nominal delivery fee. There is for coffee and tea. It's not that much though. It's like $3.50 for a full pot
of coffee and
of
tea.
coffee. Yeah,
Oh, well,
of coffee, and then $3.50 for tea.
for
It was
what?
just the specialty that we had. It wasn't. It wasn't. We didn't have to pay for it
Oh, cool.
because we were under an elite offer. So check with that. If you're on one of the other offers, you can always order room service to the room and then bring your coffee and tea to you.
What else we have?
Nothing else that I can think of at the moment.
Hope this helps. Hope y'all are having a blessed day. It's raining here.
Any questions, just put them below. Be sure to like and subscribe. Be like all these other people.
God, that's so wrong.
I know, I feel bad, but do like and subscribe. Follow along. Come along with us on our journey.
Peace. Y'all have a blessed day.
Later.